Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about some books that I think are extremely underrated and not talked about nearly enough. So I put together a little collection of some of my favorite reads that I think are extremely underrated, and I'm going to be sharing them with you guys today. Starting off is the book Bone Crier's Moon by Kathryn Purdie, I think is how you pronounce it. And this is a book that I got in an Al Cray box, and it's one of the most beautiful books that I own, like by far. Like, look at these gold sprayed edges and just like the artwork. Everything about this book is amazing, and I love not only the way that it looks, but also the substance. So this is a book that's based on French folklore. So this is a story following Alessi, who's our main character, who is some sort of shape-shifting creature-esque type thing. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but basically her quest is to kill the boy that she's in love with. So that's sort of the premise of this whole story, and I think it's amazing and it's done so well. It's super quick. Like, I read this in less than like 3 days. Super fast paced. The writing's really easy to understand, and even though it is based off of like folklore, everything is really easy to digest in terms of mythology. So please give this one a read if you're interested in sort of, you know, a mystical, like sort of mythology / folklore. It's a really fun read, especially if you've liked Wicked Fox, which is by Kat Cho, which I know was pretty popular a while ago on BookTok. If you're a big fan of Wicked Fox, Bone Crier's Moon is a great one to check out as well. The next book on this list is actually a middle grade book that I read when I was, I believe, in 5th grade, and it's called Out of My Mind by Sarah M. Draper. This is, to this day, one of the most impactful stories I think I've ever read. I still think about this book quite often. I'm not sure if it ever specifies what disability that she has, but she's in a wheelchair and she's unable to speak, and it's about her sort of living her life knowing that she's smart and that she is capable, but people are unable to see that due to her disability. And it's just an incredible story. I truly I read this book I think maybe 3 times when I was younger because I just loved it so much. And it, again, is one of my favorites from when I was little. It's still on my bookshelf. It's a really quick read. It's easy to read. And so if you're looking for more representation in your reading, especially of people with disabilities, this is a great one to read. The next book on this list is actually a more well-known book, but it's one that I don't see nearly enough people talking about, and that is A Study in Charlotte. Anyway, this book is sort of a mystery, and it follows the daughter of Sherlock Holmes and the son of Watson, or maybe it's like the great-grandson or whatever, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, this one was so fun. It's a really quick, sort of fast-paced thriller. It's definitely a little bit mature, so definitely check out some of the age recommendations for this series. It is a series. I have not picked up the rest of the series just because it keeps slipping my mind, but I read this book twice. I loved it. It was great. It was quick paced. It kept me on my toes. I'm also a sucker for anything that has Sherlock Holmes in it. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love the BBC series Sherlock. Anything to do with like Sherlock Holmes or Agatha Christie, like, I love it. So this is a really fun one, especially because it's like more contemporary. It's set in modern day, and it's set in like an academy, and it's just everything that I love wrapped into one. It's not an incredible book by any means. It's not, you know, breaking barriers and just sort of setting the standard for some new literary masterpiece. It's not some new literary masterpiece, but it is a really fun time, and I enjoyed my time reading it. So definitely check this one out if you're interested in more of like mystery, thriller, that kind of stuff. The next book on my list is, again, another very well-known book. This is a classic, and this is actually The Outsiders. And the reason I've included this on my list is because everywhere I look on BookTok, I see people reading Wuthering Heights, Pride and Prejudice, The Great Gatsby, all of these very awesome classic books, but not so much like more, not contemporary classics, but more modern classics. So this is a book by S.E. Hilton, and this is a woman writer, and this book was the first classic I ever read. I read this when I was in 5th grade. I read it on my own. It wasn't for school, and I just fell in love with this book. So this book was written in the 60s, and it's a very just heart-wrenching story about this group of boys who, they're sort of from the wrong side of the tracks, quote unquote, and it's about them just sort of struggling with life and coming of age and sort of learning to be men in this world. And it's so interesting to me because this was written by a woman, and all of these boys are written so like masterfully. It's almost like she was in their head, and it's incredible that she was able to do that. And I just truly love this book, not only for that, but also just some of the sort of themes and the hard topics that it touches on. And especially because it has one of my favorite quotes of all time, which is "Stay gold." That's where the quote like "Stay gold" came from. It's from The Outsiders. So please, if you're looking for a easy way to get into sort of like your classic era, The Outsiders is a great one to start with. It's so like easy to read, but it's definitely has so much substance in it, and it's not a surprise to anyone that it's a classic by any means. So please give this one a go if you're looking to read some more classics. The final book on this list is a little bit of a different one. This is not a novel. This is actually I don't want to say comic series because it's really not. It's more of a picture book almost. Anyway, this is the George and Martha collection, and this, like, look how cute this cover is. Basically, this is a story about these two hippos, I believe they are, and their names are George and Martha, and they go on all sorts of adventures together. And so the author wrote a bunch of short stories, and they have all these really fun pictures and just all this fun adventures. And it's truly, I grew up with this book series. My dad and I used to read it together all the time. It's called George and Martha, the complete stories of two best friends. And it's so cute. It's the illustrations are really funny and really nice to watch. Really nice to read. And so I always pick this up when I'm feeling nostalgic or need like a little pick-me-up, because these stories always put me in a good mood, make me laugh, and they just bring me back to such a happy time in my life. So if you're looking for just a cute little fun story collection, this one is a great one to check out. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed these book recommendations for underrated books. Again, these are just in my opinion. I know some of these aren't considered underrated, but in my mind they are. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you'd like to see in the future down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you later.